Good evening, everyone. Dadman Walking 55 here, coming to you at 31 minutes after the hour. Cool. Just double checking because we had done some technical modifications earlier, and it does look like I am coming through. So, hey, welcome, everybody. Tonight is very impromptu, very spur of the moment, very, we'll see what happens, how this goes. It's an experiment. We will be using some definitely incorporated websites to share some scores. But hey, tonight, hope we can talk some college football, uh, talk about some of the games that have happened today, and even on Thursday. Uh, you know, Tell me who your favorite teams are. Tell me who you think might win the national championship. Feel free. Time of back and forth that we'll do here with having some fun with each other and see where we go with this experiment on a Saturday night. Why? Because I felt like doing it, and that's the thing with having your own YouTube channel. You can do it. You can do what you want to. You can go live when you want to. Yeah, it may not be the best. I might not be the most entertaining, but you know what? There's just something fun about talking sports, especially to me, college football. Uh, College football has always been special in my family with memories that I've shared with on other shows with my dad, my uncles. Uh, you know, Lots of memories of classic games, classic moments with the family over the many years. Many memories with my wife, memories with my kids, and hopefully you've got some good memories of college football. Hopefully y'all stick around and we'll have some fun with this night. Like I said, see where it goes. A lot college football is definitely in a very interesting uh, position these days with all of the recent college conference realignment. But hopefully we can get into that a little bit longer, depending on how we go, how things are going tonight. But we're gonna see where we go with this. So thank y'all, buddies. Got a couple of you guys out in the chat, and I'm pulling some other information up. Give me 1 second. Let's see. We got Buddy Hepburn here with the popcorn. All right, and smiling fine. Hey, good to see you. I think I recognize that avatar again. Good to see you folks tonight. Hey, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We are 447 subscribers now. Let's get to 450. It's a Saturday night. Nothing says Saturday night in the South like college football. Will not talk about games play by play, but I will be talking about some of the scores that are up. Hey, look, Alabama's up 14-0. So go figure. But still, in the second quarter, a lot of rough games for some of these teams that are expected to do a lot. You've got Middle Tennessee just missed their field goal. So Alabama looks to be struggling. Georgia is struggling with UT Martin, but just had a big play touchdown. Georgia's up 24-0. So we'll take a look at the scores around the country and see and go from there. So let's see if I can get the sort on the top 25. But hey, yeah, I'm gonna wait. All right. Hopefully y'all are still here. Y'all didn't wait too long. But hey, let's see right now. Let's see. Okay. And I'm just going to go down with some of these scores based on where we've got it. So far, we're going to look at the top 25 action that's on the clock today. And then look back at previous week. Let's see. Yep. We're going to look at this week's, but we're going to start with today's action, guys, in the top 25. Currently underway, we got UT Martin's visiting the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia's up 24-7, third quarter. USC is up on Nevada, the Wolfpack, 35-7 at halftime. Kansas State is leading Southeast Missouri 35-0. Also another game at halftime. Texas A&M looks like they may have settled their offense. Bobby Petrino's back. You might not think of beating New Mexico as a lot, but last year the opening game against Sam Houston was a very dry slugfest where they did not do much of anything. So A&M up 35-7. with about 20 seconds left in the first half to go. Alabama, I just said Middle Tennessee just missed a field goal attempt, but Alabama is leading Middle Tennessee 14-0 with about 8 minutes left in the first half. And we can take a look at some of the stats of these games a little bit more as we go. Penn State leads West Virginia 14-7 so far with about 9 minutes left in the second quarter. That's a Big 10, Big 12 matchup there. Interesting to see what will happen with this game. West Virginia's hanging around with the Nittany Lions. Nittany Lions are predicted for a big year this year, but will they beat Ohio State? Michigan, crowded field in the Big Ten this year, folks. Very big, very crowded field. So competitive balance, though. But could the Big Ten be one of the better leagues around the country? We shall see. And just another score update. North Carolina just take the lead on South Carolina 10-7 with about 7 minutes in the first half to go. Ryan Coe hit a 37-yard field goal for the Tar Heels to put them up on top. I also have Tulane, the Green Wave, which is so odd to see Tulane in the top 25, but hey, they're up on South Alabama. The Jaguars about to score 10-0. Finals from earlier today in the top 25. Michigan beats East Carolina only 30-3. Tennessee, though, routs Virginia 49-13, which honestly did not find that much of a surprise to see the Vols rolling big on top of UVA this year. The best game of the day so far, and a bit of a surprise, was prime time. Deion Sanders making his head coaching debut at Colorado. Colorado, the Buffaloes visit TCU and pull off the 45-42 win in Texas. Bit of a surprise. Did not expect Colorado to come out. Definitely not a defensive team. A lot of offense. Very impressive to watch this game. Back and forth Big 12 football. If you really like the Big 12, this was a heck of a game, and it represented a Pac-10 team of Colorado playing at the Big 12, and it's just it's like Colorado's already home with no defense and plenty of scoring in the Big 12, and a soon-to-be former Big 12 team, Oklahoma, 20th ranked, blast Arkansas State by a score of 73-0. So hey, folks. Yeah, it's hold on one second. I got to multitask 1 second. Give me a second. Thank you all for being here, and yeah. So just passing a message along. Got a friend of the channel that's actually doing some work for a game out there. So it is very interesting to see on a Saturday night. College football at its finest. It's back in full force. We had week 0 last week, but now we're in full action. Week 1 this week. Why they come up with those weird little things, I don't know. But hey, game. Here's the thing: Iowa manages to beat Utah State. They did not lose their first game of the year this year. Yay! Hey, and they won 24-14. Yeah, they struggled, but the joke was about Iowa scoring right at the beginning of the game. But hey, Iowa actually scored touchdowns today, folks. 24-14 over Utah State. You still don't. Let's. Oh gosh, my resident Georgia Bulldog fan just came in and harassed me. So. Oh, they're up like 24-0. So.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh hell yeah! And speaking of a proud fan out there, real Wade Nation's here. Hey Wade, Colorado 1-0. Yes sir. We're going to talk about that game a little bit more coming up, and feel free to stay around, share your opinions, share your thoughts. the whole Colorado story is really it truly is a big story when you know what has happened with the program, the struggles in recent years, and what Deion Sanders did with turning over the roster over there, like something like 80 transfers or 80 new players. That's just beyond unbelievable. A number that's just beyond belief. So um, I'm going to come back to this Iowa game. I'm going to come back to the Colorado game in just a second. But finishing out today's top 25, Ole Miss dispatches Mercer 73-7 in what we call the paycheck games. Oregon, wow, buddy, if you're still there, you're right. Oregon, 81 points on Portland State. Even the Beavers can't score that many on Portland State. Okay, I am going to stop for a second on this one. I want to take a look at the box score. Why? Because I say you can be geeky and nerdy and all this stuff with freaking sports, with stats. Bo Nix was 23 of 27, 287 yards. Boy, could he not ever, he couldn't do that at Auburn. So guess what? He goes to the Pac-12 and, yeah, anyway. Yeah, Bo Nix did not could do that on a regular basis in the SEC, but hey. Oregon throws for almost 400 yards and almost runs for 350 yards. Wow, what an offensive output. 11 touchdowns, 4 through the air, and 7 on the ground. And it's something when your third quarterback gets to play and throws 3 passes. That's that's a heck of a wow. I'm just curious about time of possession in that game because, I mean, 81 points. I would imagine Portland State might have had more time of possession. But let's see. So let's see time of possession. Let's see team stats. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I gotta do slides for next week coming up. Oh wow. Yeah, Portland State had the ball for 28 minutes and Oregon had it for 31-19. So Oregon had the ball longer. So all right. Well, that works for us. All right. So now Georgia, just update the score. Georgia is now 31-0. A very slow, sluggish start for Georgia. It marks the debut of Carson Beck. He was out of Jacksonville, sat for behind Stetson Bennett for a few years now. He takes over the reins as Georgia tries to go for a three-peat national championship, which Georgia would only be the first time in the modern era, and the only school to ever won 3 national titles back to back has been the University of Minnesota back in the 1930s. So it's never been done in the modern AP poll era. Finishing down the top 25 now, we had a game that I kind of hoped when I turned over in the third quarter. Ohio State visited Indiana. Third-ranked Buckeyes did pull away in the second half to win 23-3. Indiana just had no offense. It's one of those type of things. Let's see. I'm trying to common core scores, but I don't. Indiana had a decent quarterback a couple of years ago, but not. Yeah. Well, it's one of those mismatched conference games. You know how it was going in. A game that I thought might be kind of interesting, that started a little bit interesting, was Washington and Boise State. Boise State visited the Huskies in Washington, and the Huskies pull away 10th ranked. Huskies win 56-19. And Austin, the Texas Longhorns start the season beating in-state rival Rice 37-10, which is unique about this game is Rice's starting quarterback is none other than JT Daniels. If you remember JT Daniels, he has been everywhere. He's like Johnny Cash. I've been everywhere, man. I started USC, transferred to Georgia. I can't remember where he was, West Virginia, and now he's at Rice. So, hey, go figure. It'll be his 6th year in college football. And everybody had a problem with Stetson Bennett, But, hey, let's see. So Texas wins that game 37-10. We got that. Let's see the other updates. Just taking a look back down because the way it recycles, it goes back to the top. So Notre Dame blast Tennessee State 56-3. Another paycheck game, and Wisconsin beat Buffalo 38-17. You know, it takes me a lot while to remember Buffalo is a college or university, also not just the Bills. They're the Bison or something, or Buffaloes. But yeah, they have a Buffalo looking animal. But hey, Wisconsin wins, and Luke Fickell's debut as a Wisconsin head coach. So then let's see, that's last Saturday. Okay. From Thursday night, the 14th ranked Utah Utes dispatched the Florida Gators pretty easily, 24-11. And this might be another game that I will come back to in just a second. But we will wait and see how that goes. Buddy's got a comment out here. Also coming up tomorrow at 3:30, Oregon State travels to San Jose State, the 18th ranked Beavers, in the last year of what could be the Pac-12 on the road against another California team. And tomorrow night, probably the game of the week, is the LSU-Florida State matchup in Orlando at Camping World Stadium. Last year, they played in the Superdome in New Orleans, where LSU lost because of a blocked extra point with no time remaining. And then on Monday night, 9th-ranked Clemson travels to Duke. So, hey, Duke, you never know. Probably down, but for a while had some decent football years. So, but let's see. With that, let us go back. We'll talk about the Gators at some point, but they're old news and not as important nationally. Tonight. I'm going to expand the horizons a little bit. Go back and look at the games, and I think the game that we really need to look at today and have comments on that warrants a lot of discussion is this Colorado TCU game, folks. As Buddy said, that college got a pretty interesting schedule ahead next week. Nebraska, Oregon, week 4, USC, week 5. So let's look at the game today, and then we'll take a look ahead at their schedule that's coming up. And Shadur Sanders is the quarterback, also transferred from Jackson State along with his father, Deion Sanders, was 38 of 47 for 510 yards and 4 touchdowns today. Amazing offensive performance. While Colorado did rush the ball for 34 carries for 55 yards. But really through the air is where Colorado did their damage. 4 receivers with over 100 yards receiving. Dylan Edwards was 5 catches for 135 yards. 3 touchdowns with a 75-yard catch in the middle there. So let's see, looking at Colorado, picked off TCU twice. And let's see, both teams missed a field goal. So tell you, kickers are important. Chandler Morris got the start for TCU, went 24-42 for 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, but threw 2 picks. TCU as a team ran for 262 yards, with Imani Bailey running for 164 of those yards on 14 carries, so averaged over 10 yards a carry. The longest was 74 yards. So this was really a back-and-forth game. Colorado went into the half with a 17-14 lead, and then it was back and forth through the end of the game. Looking at the recap, let's see, it was really the best game of the day that I've seen so far, especially with even though Colorado did not have a lot of expectations, there were a lot of question marks, there's still teams that were matched from big conferences. So, as we said, Colorado started off first drive of the game, moved in, scored 7-0, took an early lead on the 13-play drive. TCU responds with a score with a 7-yard touchdown run by Trey Sanders. Then the Buffaloes come back. Another drive, 75-yard drive, capped off by a 2-yard run by Savon Wilkerson. And then before the end of the half, we had a lot of the action. Trey Sanders with another 4-yard TD run for the Horned Frogs, while Jace Feely caps the half off with no time remaining with a field goal from 49 yards for the Buffaloes. So we go into a 17-14 game, and then it becomes Oh boy! Here's where it gets fun. Um, 75-yard pass, one play, opening drive for Colorado in the second half. Dylan Edwards, 75-yard pass from Shadir Sanders. Colorado takes a 24-14 lead. Followed up on less than a minute later, where TCU responds with a 21-yard strike from Chandler Morris to Jared Wiley, makes it 24-21. Then they follow up later in the quarter with another touchdown pass by Chandler Morris to take the lead 28-24. Then Colorado responds soon after on the next drive with a 7-yard run by Dylan Edwards to retake the lead 31-28. This is what the beauty of the Big 12 is for me. As an SEC fan that usually just watch SEC football, that's where I like to see some of the out of conference action. The Big 12 is full of entertainment and a lot of great action, really offensively specifically. You don't have as many of these type of games in the SEC. Why? I don't know. But hey, we always say it's the defense. I wish my friend Whoopa Troopa was here because we could have a great debate on that. It'd be almost like a Darth Maul debate probably because, a lot of the SEC snobs say the Big 12 has no defense. So is that true? Not necessarily, but definitely they do a lot of good stuff on offense in those leagues. So let's see here. Bring it back to my. There we go. Okay, cool. I'm flipping games behind me as we see. I'm going back to the Georgia game, 31-0 at the end of the third quarter. So then we go to the fourth quarter for this game, Colorado TCU. And feel free, Wade, if you're here, buddy, other observations you have with this game, anybody out there, feel free to share the observations. This is where it became the track me back and forth. TCU then retakes the lead early in the fourth quarter with a 19-yard run by the quarterback, Chandler Morris, which was a really cool run to watch. They took the lead 35-31. Shadir Sanders comes back with another drive, another 75-yard drive for Colorado to retake the lead at 38-25. Then TCU responds in 36 seconds, two plays, because there was with a turnover there, TCU scores on a short field, retakes the lead 42-38. Then the final score of the game with 4:25 left in the game, Dylan Edwards, a 46-yard pass from Shadir Sanders, and gives us the final score. Colorado wins 45-42. If you look at one thing I've noticed looking at this, Colorado had drives of 73, 75, scoring drives of 73, 75, 75, 75, 75, 82 yards. That's 6 drives that are over 70 yards. And 5 of them were 75 or more yards there. Folks, that's offensive efficiency there to drive the ball that often, that far down the field. Is really a good sign if you're a Colorado Buffalo fan, I would say, because they did it both in driving the ball and they did it with big plays. See, the touchdown start third quarter was one pass. It was a 75-yard pass for a touchdown. Then 2 of the drives were in the second half, 5 plays, 75 yards, and 2 drives of 6 plays, 75 yards for scores. Those are quick strikes. I mean, a lot of times we think of drives, we think of the 10-play drive that takes off 10 minutes of the clock, like Bear Bryant football. No, this is 5-6 plays, pretty quick, pretty efficient with it. And even in the first half, in the third half, it shows the opposite side. The first half, the Colorado offense, 13 plays, 73 yards for a touchdown. 10 plays, 75 yards, touchdown. That's more of your slow. Even though they did a fast-paced offense at times, that's moving the ball down. That's chunking it away and taking time off the clock. But you still result in long drives with scores. And then the second half, it became more of an open, quick strike offense with fewer plays. So really definitely the game of the day, I will say. Deion Sanders' debut as the Colorado head coach, they call him Coach Prime, was really interesting to see. And hello over on the Twitch side. Hello there to you, Twilight Linkable. Good to see you. Hey, we are. I am talking about various games right now. I'm on the Colorado uh, TCU game. Normally, I focus only on the SEC games on my show during the week, but tonight I just said, "Hey, the hell with it. We'll go live and we'll talk about all college football. We'll see some action and go over some of the games that have happened already." The Colorado story is really interesting with primetime coming back. So, and folks, if you're on the YouTube side, make sure you've hit that like button and subscribe. It helps the algorithms. And if you are on Twitch and you like it, make sure you leave us a follow over there. I appreciate y'all being here tonight. We got 5 people watching. Hey, feel free to share your thoughts and opinions of games about that. Oh, cool. Glad. Hopefully, you guys stay a while. And like I said, if you watched any of the games today or this week, feel free to shout in. And we're talking college football tonight um, for our topic. Some other nights we do Fortnite, and some other nights we do all kinds of other crazy stuff. But just got to bug up my butt tonight to come live and do this. And uh, why not? So why not with you great folks out here? So that was a game of the day, folks. If you saw that game, you were definitely experienced a treat. If you didn't, you missed a damn good game because that's the problem with these early games in the week in the season. They can be kind of rough. Let's do a few score updates. Well, Georgia's of interest to me because my kid goes there, and even though I'm a Gator fan, but just I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So Oregon was a blowout. Yeah, that game was slightly a blowout. Let me look at that real quick. The stats on that I had pulled up earlier. 81-7 over Portland State. 381 yards through the air for the Ducks and 348 yards rushing. I mean, offensive productivity off the charts with that. But yeah, personally, I'm an Oregon State Beaver fan, so I'm more the Beavers than the Ducks. But hey, it was definitely an interesting thing to see Bo Nix, a former quarterback at Auburn, able to throw the football and throw it effectively down the field. Does not always do that, but hey, good for him. He's found a new life up in the Northwest. So, uh, actually, let's see there. Another piece. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I will say they did a good better job than the Beavers usually beat Portland State. So Wade says 4-0. And I do want to look at the Colorado schedule. Thank you for reminding me of that. Yeah, definitely catch that game. Catch that game. No, not Ang, my other kid. So it's like all my people have like boycotted on me and are now Georgia fans, and I'm a Gator fan. So no, Twilight Linkable, I'm not, but one of our good mods and friends of the channel, Whoopa Troopa, is a Baylor fan. So hopefully we'll have him on if you keep watching us. Whoop, when we are able to have Whoop on, he's busy covering a game for somebody tonight. I know he would love to talk to you. Go Bears, exactly. All we need is our good old polar bear from Florida to start a poop us here tonight, and we'd be covered. But let me see this real quick. Wade, thank you for bringing my attention back to that because I do want to update some of these other games that are going on because we have a few score updates. There are some other good games it looks like tonight. So, excuse me a second with my voice. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Man, excuse me. Sorry. Thank you. TCU, Colorado started with a road game at TCU. They play host to Nebraska. They host Colorado State in an in-state rivalry. Then they're at Oregon, Wade. Wade, so are you saying that Colorado will go to Eugene and beat the Ducks? That's going to be a tall task, my friend. Going to be a tall task, but hey, I'd like to see it as a Beaver fan. Go for it. Then you host the Colorado host USC, 6th-ranked USC. Then they're at Arizona State. They host Stanford. They're on the road at UCLA. They host the Beavers on November 4th. They host Arizona Wildcats. Then they end up the season on the road against Washington State and Utah. So pretty good schedule, pretty tough road to go for Colorado. But hey, Wade, at least y'all won a at least you won a game nobody, I think very few people expected Colorado to do. And with so many transfers that they had, let's see. Because Deion Sanders, if you don't know about the story with Colorado, really turned over the roster this year for the Colorado Buffaloes. I'm gonna try. I'm looking at exact number right now, but I think it was like at least 60 or 70. They had definitely the most around with. Let's see. Yeah. So this is from Bleacher Report from 3 days ago, where I'm going to talk about this a little bit. That he said he doesn't care about cults. Wow. Oh, wow. Buddy Hepburn, I hope you're there because I'm probably going to go on a Dadman rant now. I'm going to pull this article up and read it, show you. Because I'm going to preface this into a little bit of what I'm going to talk about the game on Thursday night. So hopefully this article comes up here. This is, like I said, Bleacher Report. Deion Sanders on massive Colorado roster overhaul. I don't care about culture. Thank you. I've heard that as a Gator fan in friggin' Gainesville every damn time, and now this coach we got, culture. He needed to change his Nobody cared when Urban Meyer was there, but anyway, here we're talking about Colorado for Wade now. So, the entire roster was nearly turned over after a 1-11-2022 campaign, but he said, quote, "I'm not welcoming that word culture. That's all I heard when it was Jackson. Culture, culture, culture. Now culture, culture. What the heck does it mean?" He added, I quote, "I don't care about culture. I don't care. I don't care if they like each other, man. I want to win. I've been on some teams where the quarterback didn't like the receiver, but they darn sure made harmony when the ball was snapped." Thank you, Deion Sanders. He is now my favorite coach in America. If only the University of Florida may decide to hire. I'm sorry. Oh, gosh. It's refreshing to hear a coach with this attitude. Because when you have a program that's been kind of middling and you talk all the politically correct gobbledygook, it gets old, it gets frustrating. You got a team that can't even show up to play a game half the time. You get tired of this word culture and stuff. But Deion's right here. Some of the greatest teams, whether it's been pro or college, they hate each other. You look at some of the great NFL teams of the 70s and 80s, these guys on the same teams didn't like each other. But, this thing with culture now and on the right way in this stuff. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's about wins, folks, when it comes to the field. Get on the field. So, Colorado entered the season with just 10 scholarship players from 2022 on its roster. The Buffaloes brought in 86 new players between high school and the transfer portal, including 9 players who followed him from Jackson State to Colorado, including his son, quarterback Shedeur Sanders. So the Buffaloes have the most incoming players to an FBS roster since the transfer portal was established 5 years ago. They have 53 transfers in total, including nearly 24 players that joined the team since the end of spring practice, though, guys. That's since like March or April. That's a lot of people to come in. And I know the announcers were talking about can the players gel on the roster, on the field and stuff, but obviously they did. So basically he came in saying he encouraged people to hit the road, and he was vocal about, rebuilding the roster. So he said, "I'm coming. When I get here, it's going to be changed." See, all I want you to do is get ready to go ahead and jump in the portal, do whatever you want to get, because the more of you jump, the more room you make. We're bringing kids that are smart, tough, fast, disciplined, but character. They're the ones that we're going to get. Is that you? See, I like that attitude. He came in with that up front, not this. We're going to go there and we're going to change everybody. It's like he may actually have the key have done it the right way. I know there's a lot of skepticism. I was a lot of skepticism. So, but he got support from his bosses. So, anyway, that's another interesting thing of interest with Colorado, which makes this a really interesting story. Now, will they go on to have a great year? I don't know. They should beat Nebraska. They should beat Colorado State. Uh, they probably should lose to Oregon and USC, I would think. But definitely a winning season should be in order for Colorado there. And so, Wade, you can be happy. But Wade, I will tell you, friend, if y'all go 4-0, I don't know. We might have to have a party for that one, okay? We'll have to have a party for that. So, um, let's see. All right, we get a chance. Absolutely no rush. What do you personally think would be a big game this year for Oregon? Oh, okay. Now let me bring up the schedule. Let me do something real quick. Let me come back to that question. I love that. Thank you for that question, and I will tag both of those. And the second one, Baylor. I really wish Whoopa was here, but let me go back. I want to get a score updates because I know some of the scores have changed. Georgia's still at 31-0. Kind of interesting as a Gator fan. Georgia is to me our biggest rival, and I'm curious to see more of this Carson Beck, who's taken over for Stetson Bennett, to see what he can do in terms of throwing the ball. Wow. Wow. Okay. Touchdown, Georgia. Hey. Oh my God, the Gators are screwed. But hopefully we get to talk about that shortly. So, all right. Let's see. Ooh. Wow. Let me update the wow, that could be big. Let me go back to I'll get to the non top 25 games in a second. Georgia just scored lead 37-0, extra point pending. USC is up now 42-7. Kansas State's got added a field goal up 38-0 over Southeast Missouri. Texas A&M, New Mexico have entered the second half. Alabama leads at the half 28-0 over Middle Tennessee. Pittsburgh and West Virginia. This is a game to watch over on NBC. West Virginia hanging tough with them at the half. Also at the half, North Carolina leads South Carolina 17-14 in a Duke's Mayo Classic. Tulane is up 17-7 over South Alabama, and then with finals that we mentioned earlier today. So let me see. I am going to come back to a couple of these other games, but let's go to other games right now since and we'll look at them and I'll hit your question. Lemon Pie, hey, good to see you tonight. Welcome. Good to see you, friend. How are you doing? Good to see you. We're talking some college football tonight, but always great to have you guys in here. I can stat it up and make it really nerdy and all for everybody. So we'll have some fun with that. Games earlier this week. Well, we're not going to worry about last week, but the action started on Thursday night. Where let me go back to that later. Let me do the live games right now, folks. Let me do the. Okay, those are finals. So let me get those live scores. Let's see. So Baylor just got a score there. All right. Let's see where we go here. Trying to pull up live scores as we got it. So, like I said, I really went live on the spur of the moment. So let's see. We got finals today. Let's see. Let me do this then. All right. And I do like that question though. As a Beaver fan, with Oregon. I enjoy talking Pac-10 a bit. I don't ever get to see those games very often. Let's see. Okay. Lemon pie. Yes, we did talk about it already, but hey, I just talked about the Dion's roster turnover, but hey, feel free to talk about it. It's an amazing game. If you got comments, go ahead. let me know your thoughts, and we can go back to that game a little bit. It was a fabulous game, deserves to be talked about. 45-42, Deion Sanders' first game as Colorado head coach. There's so much to talk about that. And let's see. Let's see. I Yes, you're right. Lemon pie. Not lemon pie. I'm sorry. Twilight Linkable. Yes. 28-21. Texas State, folks. Yeah. Man, would that be an upset? Would that be an upset? But yeah, with about 12:31 left to go in third quarter. And yep. So, hey, that could be an upset alert, guys. These first week games can be kind of interesting like that. But thanks for pointing that one out. Oh, oh, thank you, thank you. I try. This is an experiment tonight. It really is. I got to make sure I don't do play by play. But I like watching it. I don't have an emotion to invest in the game. Buddy Hepburn will know why my team sucks so bad after Thursday night. I want to talk about though. But hey, Buddy Hepburn, yeah, you can still go for San Jose State since you're a homer, but I doubt they keep up. Yeah, I'm going Beavers all the way. So, oh, if you could have come out for, I would have loved that, buddy. I would love that. I actually saw an Oregon State Beaver baseball game once. They actually played the Gators down in Gainesville in the NCAA tournament, and I actually got to watch the Beavers play. And I think I actually cheered for the Beavers that time, believe it or not. But yes, so hey, thanks. And yeah, lemon pie, like I said, hey, what did you want to, if you want to talk about it, we go back, talk on that game all the time. Um, so let me scan through ongoing scores right now. Let me take a quick look to see what's interesting. Then I will tackle your question there. One thing is, one thing I've got to do is find a better way to get live scores. And like I said, this is an experiment. So thank you for your patience tonight. Hey, Vanderbilt. Everybody thought they were going to run and do a bowl game. They barely are leading Alabama A&M 19-10 in the second half. So, folks, the team that beat Florida last year, they won. They beat Hawaii last week. Now they hey, the first quarter was like a baseball game. It was 5-3 Vanderbilt. So if you know Vanderbilt, they have a good baseball team. So that's the one to watch out for, possible upset alert right now. Southern Miss leads Alcorn State 27-7. Army's on top of UL Monroe 10-3. Let's see. Let me go there. Wow. Well, this is kind of interesting, folks. Oklahoma State is up 13-0 over Central Arkansas in the third quarter. Big 12 team, small, very, very kind of a surprising score right there. So the Mike Gundy's team. So let's see. Texas A&M is up 35-7 in New Mexico. Kansas State 38-0 to Southeast Missouri State. Here's another one, folks. University of Texas San Antonio. That's a school that's up and coming. It's moving up the divisions. We talk about conference realignment and all. That's a school that is getting on the radar. They are trailing Houston 10-7. Houston, that's leaving the America, that is in. I don't know if they're already in or they're going next year into the Big 12. Hey, up and comer, 10-7 Houston leads. That one, let's watch that one, see how that goes. Masters, hey, Masters, good to see you. No problem about being late. Okay, and we can talk Focky if you want to, sir. 15 minutes to the stadium from home. Man, does that mean, could you actually walk there, buddy? Because that'd be really, really cool to see if you could walk there. Because then you wouldn't have to pay the parking fee and everything else and get exercise. And let's see, Texas State still up 28-21 over Baylor. And it looks like Texas State is driving. Last play was a rush to the Baylor 16-yard. We shall see what shall happen there. Washington State leads Colorado 29-3. Okay, potential upset. Toledo is on the road at Big Ten, Illinois, and Toledo has a halftime lead 12-7. couple of the guys on Game Day on ESPN called it earlier today. So watch that as a potential upset. So let's see. Texas Tech leads Wyoming 14-0 early. Old Dominion scored, so now Virginia Tech leads in Blacksburg only by a score of 9-7. That is, God, talk about a school that's fallen is Virginia Tech into the mediocrity. Penn State. How the hell do you Penn State Nittany Lions have a thing called Beaver Stadium? I mean, how the hell does Beavers in Pennsylvania? I don't know, but hey, I digress. Let's see. Tulane's now expanded 24-7 over South Alabama. UTEP is losing to Incarnate Word 7-0. Jeez, come on, UTEP. That's another one of my loser teams, but hey. All right, so I think at that point, all the other games after this are finals. Fresno State beat Purdue 39-35. There's an upset in West Lafayette. SMU, who's now going to join the ACC, beat Louisiana Tech 38-14. Iowa, we talked about Iowa earlier. Northern Illinois held on to beat Boston College. All these big conference teams, these Power 5 conference teams, maybe some of these conferences ought to kick some of them out if they can't beat teams like Northern Illinois and things like that. Iowa barely beat Utah State. Let's see, other games. Temple beats Akron 24-21. Arkansas crushes Western Carolina 56-13. Let's see, Iowa State beat Northern Iowa 30-9. And let's see, going through some of the other scores that we've got here of games that might be interesting. Auburn pulled away. Auburn beat UMass pretty handily after a slow start, 59-14. The Hugh Freeze era is off to a really good start in Auburn. Apparently they have a quarterback that can throw and at least beat the bad teams. So that's a good sign for them. Pittsburgh beats Wofford 45-7. Cal goes on the road and beats North Texas 58-21. There's a good sign for California. Maybe they'll be a good year for them in their last year in the Pac-12. Mississippi State started slow against Southeast Louisiana. Actually was only up 10-7, but ended up pulling away 48-7 to win. And let's see, games of interesting. Georgia Southern Citadel. Oh, my friend Whoopa was covering that game. So, and then other games later, Northern Arizona play. BYU hosts Sam Houston. Coastal Carolina at UCLA, which I saw a few people picking Coastal Carolina. Idaho State at San Diego State. Northwestern at Rutgers. Oregon State at San Jose tomorrow. And some of the other games we talked about being tomorrow. Eastern Michigan beats Howard 33-23. Michigan State, JT Kirk, his team Sparty beats Central Michigan 31-7. So it's I see B. Gabbert, and I think of Blaine Gabbert in the NFL. So, all right. So, Stanford beats, let's see, what are some of these games are from last week, but are from the other night. They're games from the other night that I've scrolled into here. So, all right. Yep. I'm not surprised. That looked like that they were doing on fourth down, and they just scored 34-21 to Texas State. Yep. That good. All right, so let me go back a little bit. So, Masters, good to see you here. My gosh, I remember Seattle Mariners having a game a couple years ago where you could add up all the ways you could score points in football to total amount of runs they scored. Yes, I love when that happens in baseball. I love it when it happens in football, too. It's quite cool to see when that happens. So, but, yeah, it is definitely very, very interesting when you see that. Let me just refocus on a couple of the ranked scores because that was action around outside of the big games. Nope, I don't see any other new scores on the games at the top 25. Forgot the score scout having the day. It was a couple of days ago. Huh? Yeah, Buddy said you could take light rail and bus before walking. Okay, 15 minutes is the freeway. Gotcha. So Texas, Oregon at Texas Tech game, I really hope to go to, but I don't think I'll be able to take. Yeah, that's possible. Master said Focky weekend was mind blowing this time. Imagine the Florida Fockers beat Focky for Freedom Tampa and a thrilling last minute goalie shot out. Yes, exactly. Folks, hey, no problem. This is JT Kirk. This is like a last second impromptu thing tonight. Congrats, your Sparty won 31-7 over Central Michigan. So good for you. Good to see you tonight, my friend. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button and subscribe on the YouTube side. If you haven't, make sure you're still subscribed because they do weird things. And folks, on the Twitch side, make sure you follow if you haven't already. I appreciate it. We do a little bit more with the gaming on the YouTube side, but hey, we love our Twitch people too. Update on Alabama. Alabama A&M Vanderbilt still 19-10. I'm going to pull up that game in a second, JT Kirk. But I want to deal with, I'll take a quick look at that Michigan State game in a second. I want to get to Twilight Linkable's question, though, about Oregon. That I do want to get to because we talked about it over here. Here. Would be a big game this year, Oregon. Well, I will say that the Oregon State game is always a tough one. It's always a battle, hated with the Civil War. I mean that's really something you've got to start with there. But especially this year with Oregon State currently in the top 25, if they have the year they expect to have year, if they don't go and lose to San Jose State or struggle with some of the teams that they should beat, like they lost a few games last year, they could have won. It could be a really, really big game. But looking at next week at Texas Tech, then you host Hawaii, then you host Colorado, then you're at Stanford, at Washington, host Washington State, at Utah, host Cal, host USC. Well, see, USC is going to be a tough game always because it's USC and they're talented. Oregon State, it's a Civil War. That game at Utah, don't count that out because Florida just played there. That place was really, really loud. It is a hard place to play. It was really deafening. And then that road game at Washington. Honestly, the big game this year for Oregon, I think, has to come. I think it may be the Washington game because honestly, I see Oregon dominating the Beavers a little bit better because of recent years' trends, but I still look for Oregon State, even though as a fan, to slip up on some of these games and but that's based on past performance. But I would say outside the Civil War game, that Washington game, because you're on the road, could be your bigger game of the year because I think Oregon with Bo Nix and his experience, you should be okay on the road at Texas Tech. All the other games are kind of marginal games. You should be able to beat them okay. Utah did not look the best, but they also did not have Cam Rising. Or the home game against USC. If you can get past Washington, that home game against USC, I think is your biggest game. So hopefully that answers your question. So with that, and then Baylor. Let's see with Baylor. Well, we'll see what about Baylor. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but let me move back on. We'll come back to Baylor if we have time. So, and yeah, JT Kirk. Okay, victory should have been playing 50+ caliber. Exactly. Yeah, JT, you. That's exactly what I think many times when I think of things like that. When I think of my team, the Gators specifically, it's you're it's like it's one of those games that I hate watching because honestly, I'm just gonna be pissed off. It's like either they're gonna I'll either be bored because they scored too easy and it's like why did we play this game, or it's the other where it's the other condition where they don't score enough. Like you said, they should have done a lot better than what they did do. So let me see. I'm trying to find the Michigan State game real quick. Let's see. Just trying to check. JT, was that game today? No, it's last night. Last night. Let's see. All right. Well, let's look at it. Let's look last night. So, yeah, I will tell you, watching the Gators play there, yeah, it would be a tough place to play. I will say, I think if Florida had a decent team, or if Florida had a coach, a real coach, and why didn't throw the ball early? I don't know, but I don't know what that team's trying to be. But yeah, it was a tough place to play. But I think you guys could go in there with the right roster. I mean, I think, and you got a quarterback that can handle that pressure, that environment. I mean, I've been a critic of Bo Nix ever since he was a freshman at Auburn, but still, he's had big games. He has uh, uh, good play, a good career. Yeah, and Washington's been proven. Penix, the quarterback, made some nice throws today in their game against Boise. It was really good. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Exactly. Like, yeah. Why did we play this game? Well, Florida plays McNeese next week. Well, that's what I think too with that one. So, uh, and yep, bored or angry. At one point, they were down 7-10. They were scoreless in the first quarter. Let's see if they pulled away because Central Michigan was worn out, and that's what happens. So let's see. Basically, the Central Michigan game here. Looking at the box score. We're just looking at it analytically. But Sparty threw for almost 300 yards, 18-31. Noah Kim was for 2 touchdowns. And Sparty still ran the ball for 127 yards. The numbers look good offensively. Just very, very vanilla. Very, yeah. I can sense your frustration too. You should beat a team like this much better than 31-7. So, especially when you didn't turn the ball over, everything else. Central Michigan ran for 123 yards. They threw for 96. Bert Emanuel Jr. And if I'm thinking right, Jim McElwain is the coach. If I'm thinking right. Yeah, so I was like, I'm trying to think, or am I thinking? I'm trying to think. Well, let's see. I'm trying to see how we go with this one. We'll go back there. Right. Because I want to confirm that first while I'm talking about. Then we got Central Michigan head coach. Let's see. All right. Look at it. Jim McElwain, folks. Hey, yes, Jim McElwain. Yes, he is, JT Kirk. Thank you. You know why? Because he was a former Gator head coach. Yes. Before Dan Mullen, this guy quit on the Gators. It was so bad before Georgia week, they were like, why do you even play the freaking game? Yeah. Oh, JT Kirk. Yes. Yes, he was. He didn't want to be there. He was he was half into the damn game. The Georgia Florida week, he basically quit on the team. Like, why are we even here? It was a horrible. His exit was ridiculously bad at the school. It was. I mean, you talk about a coach quitting on you. That's what happened. So, yes, Central Michigan University. All right, correction on the score. 35-21. Yep, it should be 35-21. Yeah. Yep. Okay. I'm going to flag this one. Wade. No, good point. Because we're going to talk a little bit of the realignment. But yeah, JT Kirk. Yeah, I mean, it really was a very vanilla game here. It's not like you turned the ball over. Let me look at the GameCast stats. It's let's see. Sparty had 406 yards rush. How does this happen though? You get 406 yards total offense. The other Chippewas only had 219 yards offense. Yet you're out timed 34 minutes to 25 minutes in terms of time of possession. That seems strange to me. I think, like you said, third down conversions though. Yeah, third down conversions. Let's look at it. according to the stats. Third down efficiency well, both teams are bad. Central Michigan was 3 of 16 on third down efficiency. Sparty was 5 of 13 on third down efficiency. On fourth down, 0 for 1 for Central Michigan and 0 for 2 for Michigan State. So basically 5 out of 15 on third or fourth down. So, we'll see what happens with that. So we got 7 people here. Hey, y'all keep coming. Bring your friends. Everybody come in. Let's have a good time together. And not sure how much longer I'm going. I know there's other streams coming up. And this is kind of like a test run for me tonight, kind of see how things are going with everything. So let me get back real quick to the scores. Let me do a score update real quick and see where we are with things. Let's see. Scores. Let's go scores. Let's see what the updates are. All right. So, hey, JT Kirk, I got here. Hold my beer in just a second, okay? Georgia's up 41-7 now. USC's up 52-13 over Nevada. Alabama, Middle Tennessee started second half. West Virginia has the ball. Well, they're punting now against Penn State. Still 14-7 Nittany Lions. North Carolina is still up, entering the second half over South Carolina 17-14. No other changes in any of the significant games going right now. So, but JT Kirk, there's another game I want to talk about just a second, and then we're going to get into hey, Lemon Pie. Hey, you're still here. Yeah, hey, Lemon Pie. If you want to say something about that Colorado game, like I said, make sure you do it. So, yeah, running the ball a lot, extended drives down the field, come up with short and end zone time of possession is long. That happens all the time. Happens all the time, my friends. But hey, listen. Yeah, okay. Damn it, Mark. That's what I'm going to say. Looking at these daggum numbers, I'm pissed off as a Gator fan already. I'm speechless, but I'm going to go back to something real quick. Let me start with the team stats from this game the other night. Okay, let me get to the right. Oh man, gosh, that just, folks, this just. Oh my God. Hey, okay, well that's cool. Hey, but it was a fun game. If you watched it, it was a hell of a game. Buddy Hepburn, I am glad you and I talked about this game, and I'm so glad that I turned this off the other night. It was so bad. I have gosh, yeah, it's like this from ESPN. We use him 346 total yards for the Gators, 28 minutes to 31 minutes. Utah only had 270 yards of offense and only 14 first downs, and yet the Gators lose this game. I'm floored right now, and it just gets worse. Third down efficiency, JT Kirk. Hey, hold my beer. 1 of 13. Okay, 1 of 13. I'll take 5 of 13 any day. 2 of 5 on fourth down. Hey, the Gators got some fourth down conversions, but 31 of 44 passing. They threw for over 300 yards. Why this guy? Like I said, coaching. The one turnover was key because it happened deep in their own territory, which led to a short score. But let's look at this. Yeah, JT Kirk spits out the beer. Yeah, 1 of 13. Yes, JT Kirk. But get this, it gets better. Your quarterback, you finally turned loose in the second half. 31 of 44, 333 yards. They finally let him throw in the second half. This team that tried to run the ball into the wall the first half could not run. The starting running back only had 3 carries. And Trevor Etienne, who's a dynamic, wide open back, only got the ball 7 times, but could only get 25 yards. Are you going to be a running team or a passing team? When you watch that first half, this team tried to be a short pass and running team. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I still think we need a new coach. So, Ricky Pearsall had 8 catches for 92 yards. So Utah in the receiving in here, ran for 100 yards. passed for 165. Bryson Barnes was a starter. Came out, hit the 75-yard bomb on the first play of the game. Was really, really, really instrumental. Got Utah off to a really, really good start. And basically it's there. So, and folks, Buddy and JT, what's bad is when your rivals in Tennessee, the Tennessee Volunteers, their official sports station, their guys are talking on Friday like they were shocked about how bad Florida was and actually questioned the competence of the Florida head coach. When your rivals are talking about your head coach like that, it's bad. I'm sorry. They said that last year about the Gator basketball coach. They wanted him to be the basketball coach forever. Can you imagine? It's one thing. I always picked on Phil Fulmer in the later years at Tennessee because I was always like, he was a great equalizer in football because you knew what he would do. He'd do it by the book and you could always plan ahead and jump him. Missed timeouts for this Gator offense. They never run a 2-minute offense. I heard complaints, frustration from the local sports shows here. What do you do as a Gator fan? You're really screwed up. You don't have anywhere to go with it. So, let's see. Buddy said, the lots of missed field goals, extra points this week. And see, I'm like the old running back Pete Banaszak, who used to be a post-game show guy for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's like, he hated kickers. Who Banaszak was from the 70s. He's a tough guy. I'm like, all you guys have to do, you have one job. It's just kick the damn football. And you know what? He's right. So, anyway. Hey, you know what? Deion gives motivational speeches help. Yeah, you know what? But you know what? Lemon Pie, I don't know if you were here when I talked about the article, and JT Kirk, I know you came in late, but the article we shared earlier had Deion, his attitude was, and because I've had to listen to that for a year as a Gator fan, listen to culture, get control of the locker room and all this crap. Deion, in his article from a couple days ago, said, I don't want to hear about culture. I'm sick of hearing about culture. And he made a point that's there is some of the nastiest teams he's been on where quarterbacks hated receivers, all that stuff. It didn't matter. They may have hated each other. They might have had a bad, quote, culture. They might have disrespected coaches or whatever, but, they were damn good teams when it came to playing on the field. So he doesn't want to play around with culture. He wants people that are out there working their butts off and play the game hard. So there we go with that. So that's my rant about Florida tonight. So, if y'all have any feelings on this, buddy, or any comments about this game, if y'all have any comments about any of the games that y'all watched today, feel free, please. I'd like to get your input on this. And like I said, we've been going, over an hour now already. I don't know. I appreciate the feedback. Do y'all like this kind of show on a Saturday night? I could go earlier. I might do later. I don't know what. I could always do way, way late in the night and do really a true wrap-up show when the West Coast games are on. But I don't know. This kind of just started. It just kind of came up. I did it and got 80 y'all here. Thank y'all for being here. Everybody that, whether you're on the Twitch side or the YouTube side, thank you for being here. Thank you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, guys. We're so close to 450 tonight. It'd be nice to get, and we're very close to 90. Actually, we're at 89. We are at 89 followers on Twitch. And so that'd be kind of cool to get 90 and see. I don't know. May have to do a stream if I ever got to 100 there, but let's see. I'm trying to double check things here. But yeah, thank y'all for being here tonight. Appreciate the support. Got 8 likes. Make sure y'all hit the wrong damn button. That's what happens when I multitask. All right, but hey, so let's go back to the scores. Let's take a look at the college scores. Let's see where we're at with some of the updated games that are going on. Georgia's up 48-17 to 7. That game is essentially over. So let me flip it over live in here. So, folks, what games have y'all watched today or this week since Thursday, other than the Colorado TCU game? What are some of your favorite teams? We know we have an Oregon fan out there. And we have a Colorado fan with Wade, you know. So what about some of the other teams that y'all like out here? Looks like North Carolina just scored, by the way, folks, to extend the lead to 23-14. PAT is pending. So let's see. Just flipping around a little. Oh, shoot. Baseball. This is the one part I hate with baseball. You know, it's too damn long. It's time for football. Sorry, buddy. It's like it's always funny. CBS has tennis, the U.S. Open, and Fox always has the stupid that's baseball. I'm sorry. Well, Penn State has extended their lead now to 21-7, nearing the end of the third quarter. And again, no, sorry, buddy. I used to like baseball. I like minor league baseball. Baseball is one of the sports I love playing. You know, it's so much more fun to play than watch. But my thing is, and I've talked about it before, the commercialization and all the stadiums. But as a Cub fan, going to see all those lights, it's kind of crazy. So, yeah. So, all right. And hey, okay. Well, I appreciate that, Twilight Linkable. We're seeing a person that is a decent time is covering big primetime game. Okay, cool. Part of the thing is with it will be, you know, sometimes I will get emotionally into games and I like to watch it as a fan. So that's one thing I have to consider. But thanks for the feedback. Glad you're here. Oh, I see you switched over to the YouTube side. Hey, now thank you. You know, appreciate you being over on the Twitch side. Appreciate you being over here on the YouTube side also. Everybody, make sure you subscribed if you haven't. And Buddy said Deion did got a lot of good players to come in over last year's team. Yes. Yeah, he pretty much told him leave. He told him leave, you know. So Twilight likes Oregon, Baylor, Notre Dame, T&E. Okay. I'm not sure what the last one is, but hey. No, Tennessee. Oh, like the Tennessee Volunteers. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey. Oh man, if you like Tennessee, it's okay. It's okay. Hey, you good? I gotta have you join Wade. Wade likes Colorado and Tennessee, and likes to give me a hard time about Tennessee because they're a big rival of the Gators. And I think you guys are gonna kill us this year, even in Gainesville. Although I still think that game could be an upset. You never know in a rivalry game on the road like that. So, where we are, we got some score updates. There's really no close games right now. That are still they're involving the top 25. The North Carolina South Carolina game's kind of still there. I think Penn State's probably starting to pull away for good, but we'll see what happens there. So, Buddy says I'm a Cardinal fan of San Jose State as a homer. We are a Notre Dame and Navy family. My dad watches all of their games. Oh, cool. All right, cool. All right, JT's back. So let us see. Talk about another topic that I wanted to talk about that kind of got broached a little bit earlier. That's true. You have to grab a whole new playbook when it comes to rivalry games. Exactly. You do. You know, I've seen games where like Tennessee should have beaten Florida. Oh, Air Force and Navy too. Oh, service academies. Cool. There's one year that Tennessee should have beaten Florida up in Neyland Stadium, but Florida somehow won 10-7. They had a quarterback that could not throw the ball out of a phone booth, and he completed one long pass for a touchdown, and they kicked a long field goal with a kicker that made 33% of his field goals. So had a cannon leg, but couldn't. Accuracy was a big problem. So, and then of course you look the last few years with Tennessee, Florida, before Josh Heupel. I mean, you had the 4th and 15 that became a catch and run touchdown and a missed field goal by Tennessee, and then of course the Felipe Franks 80-yard miracle pass in the air to beat the Vols. So those are some heartbreaking losses. The last game that my dad and I watched was Florida State in the Swamp, and we were watching on TV, and it was so back and forth. It was crazy. But all week the Florida State fans were mocking at the Gators with the two quarterbacks, how one of the quarterbacks passes fluttered, quacked like ducks, quacking all week. they weren't quacking on Monday morning when I saw them because, yeah, hey, so rivalry games you have to take on a whole different level. So I think Michigan won that game. It was not as big as it should have been. I think it was 30-3. Let me check real quick. It was not a big blow. It was not a big impressive win. Let me see. Why is it not here? I thought I put finals here. So let's see. You go back up here. Let's see. I'll try to find JT. I think they won 30-3. Whoa! Hey, Buddy Hepburn and all y'all. I was talking about Vanderbilt. Some of y'all that listen to my specials on Thursday night with SEC. Vanderbilt has pulled away. They're now up on Alabama A&M 33-10 in that game. Let's see. Army is leading Louisiana Monroe with about 3 minutes left in the game, 13-10. Actually, Army's thrown for 100 yards, believe it or not. Let's see. Ooh, upset alert possible. Upset. Yeah, it was 30-3. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. They did. Yeah, that happens. Like Georgia, this game against Tennessee Martin, just you can't say they're not the number one, but they just sometimes you play down to your competition, especially if you have new players, new systems, and stuff. So the battle of the running games, Air Force and Army. Army. Okay, Army. That's a huge one. Yeah. So, and I don't blame you for not paying for Peacock. I know. Yeah. Yeah. Really. Yes. Yep. Fubo. I'm not sure what Fubo is, but yeah, Oklahoma is leading by 6 at home against Central Arkansas. So, go figure. A&M's all over New Mexico State. New Mexico. End of the thirds, Houston, another upset special to watch out for. Houston has extended the lead to 17-7 over UT San Antonio. So, while Texas State is still up 35-24 on Baylor. At Baylor. We'll have another upset alert, JT Kirk, that could be of interest to you. Toledo on the road at Illinois is up 19-14. So there's some current games that are still going that look like that they could be interesting. And Virginia Tech is now leading Old Dominion by a score of 16-10 at the half. So go figure. These are some of the close games that could go either way. That could be upsets tonight. So one of the other things that we talked about, hey, go Rockets. There you go. All right. Okay. Well, I have to look into that somehow. That's cool. I do have the ESPN stuff, the expanded package and all that. So I get all the pluses and all the little themes and all that. Right now I'm kind of on the big channels now between these few games that are here. Let's see, let me flip back over to the North Carolina and South Carolina game then. All right. This is a game for South Carolina. South Carolina's got bigger hopes than just an SEC title. Can they win this game on a neutral site against an ACC opponent? Speaking of the ACC, my friends, Friday morning it happened. The long-rumored addition of Cal and Stanford happened, but they didn't just stop there. They also added SMU to the ACC fold. Now, the first question I got is why the hell SMU? And that's another reason if I had Whoop in here to talk from Big 12 land. If you ever watch an SMU game, there's like nobody in the crowds. Why would you bring a school in that don't have anybody in attendance? But they've decided to bring SMU in along with Cal and Stanford. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on conference realignment if you haven't given them already? A lot of people know. We talked about this a lot on recent streams. We've had a lot of fun, with the discussions on it. I'm from an SEC land, and we kind of started the mess with Texas and Oklahoma now coming. And then they had to wait a couple years, and now everybody's deciding to do it next year. So The landscape's going to be crazy. From well, you're going to have the Big Ten that goes from East Coast to West Coast. JT Kirk's talked about that a few times when we've been on talking. I don't think Oregon State's going to be in the Big Ten. As a Beaver fan, I'm hoping beyond hope that they will either join the Big Ten or the Big 12. But my fear is that their ship sailed. Same with Washington State. Either the Big Ten or the Big 12 could have taken one or both of them, but they chose to leave them behind. I don't like it because it reminds me of what happened with Texas A&M. When Texas A&M left to go to the ACC, that rivalry with Texas ended. And that's what I see as a death knell of college football. Is it's becoming so corporatized now. We got name, image, likeness. We got paying the players. We got all this other stuff. But what we used to have is not just the amateur nature of it, but we had the rivalries, the things that just happened. The rivalries that built over decades or hundreds of years, and those are the things that I think make college football what it is. So, and I just, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I don't know by the players. I just trying to check what was the fourth finger, but the fourth finger thing with the honoring. I'm not sure what that was about. Yeah, I was not sure about what that was about. So Barf Central, yeah, okay. JT, who's our resident Big Ten expert, no chance for Oregon State. I agree with that. And Oregon's going to the Big Ten. Oregon and Washington go to the Big Ten. Arizona State. Washington and Oregon are going now after USC, UCLA were brought into the Big Ten. The two Arizona schools and Utah are now going to the Big 12. So it's really interesting. So, yep, exactly there. So, but yeah, now we got this with ACC. I did not look. Let me see real quick what the vote was on that though, because let's see, because originally it failed with Cal and Stanford because Florida State, Clemson, and the two North Carolina schools voted against it. It was one vote short from passing. Now the FSU news articles are that FSU's not happy in the conference with the revenue sharing. So you would tend to think that they would still vote against it. And they've actually had lawyers and analysts and financial experts to come in to analyze how they could get out of the conference. So let me bring that. I'm going to get back to y'all in the chat real quick. I want to see how this went. From The Athletic, Stanford, Cal, SMU joined 2024-25. How the vote went down. So it's not next year, it's the year after. So I guess there'll be still 4 in the Pac-12 next year. So after a month of discussions about expansion, they finally reached a decision at Stanford, Cal, and SMU. Still weird about SMU. SMU was willing to accept no ACC media rights revenue for 9 years. Wow. Wait, this doesn't make sense. Why would you? And Stanford and Cal were willing to join as partial members, receiving a significantly reduced revenue share initially. Wow. So the math worked well enough. So they must not be getting much out of the Pac-12 to be willing to take a partial share. Math worked well enough for the current ACC members to vote them in. So it will go from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean. Joins the Big Ten as the only power conference to include members on both West and East Coast. This is the first edition of the conference since Louisville joined. Come on, I don't want your pop up. Stop that. You bastard. No. I'll go to the homepage. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, it looks like I'm going to have to find another article. But that's kind of where it started, where it went. I'm just trying to see who voted against it. Yeah, they're making me do that crap. I'm not doing that. I'm not. Let's see. Let me see. This is from Yahoo.com. Let me see where we go. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for giving me a chance to kind of look through this a little bit. See, 3 5. Okay, so okay, Friday morning, within the first 20 minutes of the ACC meeting, the presidents got their 12 required votes before 7:30. I figured because it was so early. Let's see if I can get that. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, during the president's call on Wednesday night, August 9th, it fell by vote 11-4. Oh boy. Politics. This is according to the article from sportsyahoo.com. On August 11th, prominent political figures such as Condoleezza Rice, Stanford, and George W. Bush, SMU, began to encourage officials at the four dissenting schools to reconsider. You know, like use your influence. So basically, there's all the back behind. It goes in to talk about the behind the scenes stuff, and then so let's see where it go. I'm going to push it down to let's see. Let me see this. Let's see. Okay, here I'm going to go to August 31st, folks. So y'all, hey, I'm glad y'all are here. So hey, yep, next 24, 25. Yeah. Oh, okay, I get you now. Let me go back to yeah, okay, it's that one. It's that one. Okay, about the suspension. Oh, they did an honor for him. Oh God, yeah. Okay, I got you now. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, going back to baseball, I'm not liking new rules. The commissioner does not realize more scoring, banning the shift. Yeah, exactly. That we've hit that a few times. Yeah, all that I hate. It's like just play the dang game. I mean, you hit the other way if you don't like the shift. There's whole things of all that stuff. So, but yeah, exactly. And and just putting a runner on second, just uh oh, 42-24. Looks like we got a. All right, cool. And Buddy says, I think they should have shored up either the WCC or Mount West. The conference system is pretty broken. Yes, that is. It is true. Now, according to Yahoo Sports, with this article here on August 31, it talked about roughly 11 hours. I'm reading from the article. Roughly 11 hours before the rescheduled president's call, the North Carolina board chair released a statement. They said it was stunning, and announced a majority of the UNC Board of Trustees opposed the expansion. So, and the article says it was the first real sign that the expansion proposal would pass. So yeah. So and there's speculation as who flipped. Some are speculating as maybe NC State, one of the NC schools, possibly. So basically, a lot of people were not surprised by UNC, Florida State, and Clemson's position. But if you know anything about the ACC, those are the three big dogs of that conference. Those are the ones that are ever in any type of national championship. It's usually those three, whether it's basketball, football, or even uh, softball and baseball at times. So basically, the schools report to their own boards. So the North Carolina Board of Governors acts as an umbrella and overseeing both of them. The presidents work together in the past, same as the two athletic directors. So basically, that it looks like they cast a deciding vote. Less than 20 minutes into the 7 a.m. call on September 1, ACC presidents passed a motion to expand by what is believed to be a 12-3 vote, with NC State having supported the measure. So, hey, there it is. So that's it. That's what we had with the story of the ACC expansion. It's, so what do you think? Do you like the expansions? Do you not like the expansions? I'm not really a fan of them. I personally do not like what's happened. I don't even necessarily like what's happened in the SEC with bringing in more Texas and Oklahoma. I think you need to get some conference, some weight out. I mean, I never liked the Texas A&M and Missouri edition of the conference. It added a little bit two more oddities to the conference, and Missouri just does not fit to anybody in the Southeast. So what are your thoughts on this current expansion? I agree though with JT Kirk. I do not see a home for either Washington State or Oregon State in the Big Ten or even the Big 12. I would say because both conferences had their shots to take them and they chose not to. So maybe we never know where it goes. Well, hell, why did the SEC take Oregon State and West? I'm just kidding with that though, but it will be interesting to see how the fate of the schools like Oregon State and Washington State, because I know Twilight Linkable, we talked about that rivalry with the Beavers and Oregon, but just think if Oregon State ends up falling down in conferences and does not have the athletic budget to recruit anymore or travel like Oregon does, it comes from drawing that money, those big paychecks from those big conferences. So yeah, and they say the conferences should be untethered for football and the other sports. These make baseball and other lower funded sports hard to maintain. Yeah, I know. Now, see, I'm interested in the ACC because they said partial members in this article. This is the first time I've heard something reference the ACC expansion as partial membership, not full membership. So what does that mean? Is it that certain sports but not others? Because I tell you, if I was a Pac-12, I'd tell both teams to go fly a kite because, you're not going to stay here with us. You can go join the Mountain West. I'd work with the Mountain West to exclude them, make them be independent, or make them, if you choose, sell your soul just to get somewhere for football, which, again, one of the other articles I've read is everybody's obsessed about the Power 5 term for those positions in the playoff slotting system. Maybe we need to just change the whole playoff slotting system now. And there's some tweaks with that and some other recent articles I've seen and I've read, but that goes beyond where I want to go with it tonight. So North Carolina is now up 31-14 against South Carolina, and now they're just, this game looks like it's over. Hey, South Carolina had a lot of hope. Spencer Rattler does not look like he showed up well tonight. North Carolina just got a first down into South Carolina territory. So let us see. Let's get an update on these games real quick, see where we're at with things from the CBSSports.com website. Oregon is just going to be big to the Big Ten to prove that they can win most games against the Big Ten. I think it must be a requirement to be in a conference to go to playoffs. I would get Notre Dame to force it. Yeah, exactly. Don't let Notre Dame keep picking and choosing and feasting on a bunch of half-track teams, and, you schedule nice, easy road games, with independent other teams and stuff like that. So, Buddy said the concessions they made along with the East out of the current conference seems like they took a bath in short time. Yeah, so, I mean, I tell you what, who in the right mind would be like SMU saying, hey, we won't take media rights, media revenue? I mean, I'm sorry. What about business? What about business sense? What about good business practice? Who passes on revenue like that? Or the partial membership thing. What does that mean? What sports? What are they going to do? So, we'll look at a few score updates. Penn State's now up, still 21-7 over West Virginia. At the end of the third, Virginia Tech still leads 16-10 in the third over against Old Dominion. Let's see. We talked about the North Carolina South Carolina game. Hey, Texas Tech is leading Wyoming up in Laramie. I went through Laramie, barely. It was in the dark, but Cheyenne, but 17-10. I love the state of Wyoming. I wish I could go back to Wyoming. That place is beautiful. By the way, check out the Mrs. and Mine shows on the Detours with Dadman's, our whole trip around the country and up through Yellowstone. It was a fascinating time. 41 seconds left in the third. Illinois has taken the lead on Toledo, 20-19. So still a tight game right there. Let's see. Texas State is now up 42-24 on Baylor. Oh, my poor friend. Whoopa. Houston is still up 17-7 with about 10 minutes left in the game against UTSA. We're looking at some of that. And it looks like the upset may be avoided in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Oklahoma State now leads 20-7 over Central Arkansas. So, hey. And as Twilight Linkable said, that Army lost to UL Monroe. So, hey. Man, it looks like it came close, though. Although I'm looking at the last play, 8 seconds. D. Coleman rushed to arm 16 for 3 yards. Push out of bounds by. Okay. Penalty on ULM defensive holding 5 yards. Why are you running the ball with that little time left in the game, Army? It's crazy. So Vanderbilt is up 40-10 now. So they're pulling away very easily now against Alabama A&M. Very tight for a while. Georgia ends up winning 48-7. Carson Beck threw for almost 300 yards. Brock Bowers, 5 catches, 77 yards. He did have a run for a touchdown. And so exactly. Yeah, nobody's gonna pass that stuff up. So JT Kirk said, beyond football, these conference alignments could be phenomenal for basketball. Men's basketball for the Big Ten gets really stale midway through the season. Well, that's true. Maybe it could. It does. And I think it's easier to travel a basketball team than it is a football team. But still, you have all the jet lag and everything else that goes again, things like that. Yeah, and Twilight Linkable, that happens with everything. It happens between conferences and everything else and stuff like that. It's always rivalry. You bring new people in and that happens. But hey, what you do is you go let the game set on the field. And I tell you, I think the honest Big Ten fans, the real true honest Big Ten fans, don't feel that way. They have seen Oregon, they've seen Washington, and have respect for them between playing in the Rose Bowl over the years and just all the other games. Because, Oregon and Washington have gone better than the SEC teams about going across country and playing people. So, and JT Kerr said the business attention getters for men's college basketball, Big Ten ACC Challenge, or one-offs like Duke, Missouri, MSU, Kentucky, UNC, UCLA. Yep, exactly. So, yep. So it's like, and the Toledo game still got another quarter, I think, though. Yeah, they just ended the third quarter, so they still have another quarter to go. I didn't like that they ran it. They ran it too. Yeah, that was interesting. Army. Well, when you're not able to throw the football at all, catch up with you sometimes. So, speaking of not throwing the football, Illinois is only throwing for 88 yards. So, hey, go figure. Yeah. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, that's a problem. Sometimes you got to look at these things and how things go. So, but hey, folks, any other thoughts about games today? Games this weekend? I ranted about the Gators. I ranted about realignment. Whole lot of stuff. We got games that are still ongoing. I don't know if I get bored later tonight. Maybe I'll just get up again and talk more football, final recaps, but probably not tonight. But like I said, I wanted to just kind of kick the tires on this. See what's going. We had up to 7 people at one time in here in the chat, and appreciate everybody that's been coming through and saying hi and talking sports with me tonight. And look forward to talking more sports along the way. Yeah, listen to me complain about the Gators, of course, is definitely something you need to do because it's fun. But I don't like. It's going to be a long football year for my team, from what I saw the other night. Just bad, when when the coaching's bad, it really gets you too. So all right, let me do this real quick. Yeah, Twilight, Utah, Baylor. Well, Twilight, I tell you, losing at home to Texas State, I think every big game is going to be big for Baylor going forward. In all seriousness, because you lose a game like that at home, you you shouldn't lose that game at home. Period. So it's hard to say when a team loses a game like that. It's really hard to consider any game a big game. Um, heck, losing Texas State, next game against Long Island and University could be the big game. But Baylor. But bad things can happen. I will say it could be a big game in terms of this having it at home in Utah. If Cam Rising's not healthy, even though their quarterbacks did okay against Florida, that would to me be a big game for Baylor in order to turn the season around. Assuming they lose this game tonight, which it looks like they're on their way to lose. So, but hey, folks, thanks for being here. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Hey, well, 40 to the third, 24. How much? Let's see how much time is. Wow. See, they're not going away though, but still, it's down 12. Could be down 11 though. We'll see. So then they're down 11. So let's see how much time is left in this game. Let's see. They're in the fourth quarter, 8:52. This could be a big comeback. I mean, if they can do it, they can hold on. It could be an interesting comeback for them. But hey, who knows? You got to pull it off. So, but on that note, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I want to say a couple things. So 3, yep, there you go. PT's good. Thank you, JT. Keep on his game if the Cali game is going to be the big one or not. Thanks for being. Thank you for being here, Twilight Linkable. Everybody, make sure you've subscribed to our channel. If you haven't, go back and look at our sports content and the Fortnite streams and the detours with Mrs. Dadman around the country. Go look. We do a bunch of whole crazy different things. Thank you for subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Make sure you're still subscribed because things happen with that side. If you follow us on Twitch over there too. So next scheduled stream could be in terms of streams, it's going to be kind of chill a little bit for a while because the football streams are going to be on Thursday. They involve some time and some work and all. So I will have to just do things as I can as I have time. So maybe some chill chats. Got some other things working in the bin out there. So Mrs. doesn't, I think she has, but she does not stream. So, but yeah, thanks for asking. Let me say though, the next scheduled stream will be, unless it comes up before then, will be on Thursday night. Will be our SEC. I hit the wrong button, dadgummit. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So here, we're going to bring this up. All right. Let's try to do this. This thing still happen. So, hey. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily follow her yet. I wouldn't. Don't ask. I'd wait till she gets to streaming though. But we'll put it out there and just stay around. You'll see her at some point soon, if you haven't been here already. But yeah, because there's really nothing to link to out there at this point. So hey, folks, Thursday night, our guest will be OC Dobbins. We're going to have an Alabama Crimson Tide fan in the house Thursday night. Be sure to join us. For that, we'll talk about the SEC. We'll look back at last week's action, including the Gator debacle in Utah. the ho-hum games throughout the league, because I will say a big criticism I have of the SEC is they don't play good out of league competition, and they have way too many paycheck games and things like that. So we'll see what happens with that. Join us though, like I said, for that. And we may go live at any moment for Fortnite or any thing as I feel like it. Like I said, a lot of stuff's by the seat of our pants right now. This year, most of the streams will be on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. We've got a set schedule with it. There are a couple of weeks, though, where it's not. Thanksgiving week will be on Tuesday night. There's another week where we'll be gone, where we'll be doing it on Tuesday night. But all the other shows should be Thursday nights at 8 p.m. And there's 1 week we will be off. So, but join us Thursday for OC Dobbins. Next week, big game, Texas visits Tuscaloosa, the Crimson Tide. Join us for that. And here are all the links that you need to know. It's all Dadman Walking on YouTube, Twitch, where you want to see the live streams or the videos. Follow me on Twitter. This is where I go live, and you'll see when I go live, like for Fortnite, chill streams, or whatever, in addition to the YouTube notifications, because many people have told me before they knew was because of the Twitter notifications. So, hey, go figure, folks. So, but like I said, hey, feel free to follow us on Twitter at any time. We're almost at 400 followers on Twitter. And go there. And it's only Dadman Walking 55. I will show it one more time. At Dadman Walking 55, because there is somebody else called Dadman Walking 55, I guess, on Twitter using an old avatar, but it is not me. So everywhere you go, it will be at Dadman Walking 55. I'm just waiting for StreamYard to, once again, StreamYard is now the human rain delay, which we used to call a lot of baseball pitchers. So, go figure. All right. Come on, silly. Oh, God, this happened. There we go. All right. So, Dadman Walking 55 on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And on that note, 5 of y'all with me tonight. Make sure you hit that like button. Thank y'all for being here. And y'all have a great. Oh, wait a second. Hey, I saw a. Yeah, often imitated, never duplicated. There you go. Yeah, see, there you go. Yeah, exactly. It's been a recent delay in StreamYard. StreamYard has been weird lately. The delay for the missus can pull it up and it comes up immediately. I have this delay thing, and actually one of our guests the other night had an echo. But hey, on that note, everybody, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and have a great night. Bye, all.